Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Deep Dive Podcast. We are on episode 20. Filling in tonight, we have Pam and Mike from PMS Ghost Hunting. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks
Yep.
for having us.
Yeah,
Oh, welcome.
absolutely.
Welcome.
A couple of things we got coming up. We have Wicked Ghost Hunters is going to be here Wednesday, May 20th at 7 p.m. And then I said Wednesday, I hope. Sunday is Adriana, and she's got a couple of guests. I think it's JD and Bill are going to be tagging along with her. So they are going to be on the show that went Sunday. I've done a lot of talking today. I am so sorry. Sunday, and that will be at 6 p.m. Central. I don't even have that on there. Can you see that? Um, anyway, I've done a lot of talking today.
That's all right.
I apologize. So, all right. Anyway, okay. Hello, you guys. When you come in, please say hi in the comments. Feel free to ask any questions that might pop into your head. But anyway, Pam and Michael, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about who you guys are and what you do.
Okay, well, I should let her go first because she's been investigating a lot longer than I have. She's been doing it for most of her life, really, in a sense.
Well,
I didn't really start doing it until we started dating about 10 years ago. And she lived in St. Louis, and I lived in Kansas City. And so we dated for that for a while. But very first hunt we went on was the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
no.
And so she was more of a test to see if I would if I was going to make the grade or not, if I would run and hide away if I got scared of ghosts and all that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And so here we are today. So
It was initiation.
It was
Oh,
initiated. Yeah.
I got you.
I did that once with my husband. He lasted about 3 hours, and then he was like, "I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Can we just be done?" I'm like, "No, we cannot."
You found a bed to lay on anyway, so.
Yeah, there wasn't a bed to lay on anyway, but yeah. So, all right. So about 10 years.
yeah, for me, I grew up in an 1880 farmhouse, and it was probably haunted. We when we lived there for about a year and a half, I mean, we didn't have to go anywhere to investigate. We could just investigate inside the house. We would have doors move or open and shut, all light anomalies, you name it. We would have it inside the house. People would get touched if they stayed upstairs, that sort of thing. And so I was kind of open to the idea. I just never did get into it until her and I started dating, and then I kind of got the bug from there. So.
No, gotcha.
But she, like I said, she's been doing it for forever.
Yeah, for me, it kind of started when I was 9. I was seeing a shadow figure of a man and didn't realize that's what it was. So I'd run to my mom's room and say, "There's a peeping Tom in my window." But my window was really tall.
Okay.
Yeah, so fast forward, when you're an adult, you think back and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's what that was." But it kind of jump started me into, thinking about the paranormal. And so actually Eureka Springs Crescent Hotel is kind of what lit another fire. Because, we grow up and we kind of stop thinking about things and work on our careers, become parents, and kind of out of sight, out of mind, if you will. And then I went on a ghost tour when Carol was there, and he was the original medium that was doing the different tours, and it was pretty profound. We had a ton of evidence, and I caught Brecky. I don't know if you guys know who Brecky is there. He showed himself.
We haven't been yet.
He's a little boy that died there, and he was the original caretaker's son, and so of the hotel. And so I have a picture of him. The hotel wants it, but it's near and dear to my heart. He shows himself to me every time I go see
Okay.
the Crescent. So But that kind of lit a fire. And, gosh, that was really
That is awesome. So, you kind of cut out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We're
There you
going,
go.
we're going in and out a little bit. So
Yeah, a little. So,
Okay. Well, I was just saying since 2005, I've been doing investigating.
okay.
perfect.
Cool.
Perfect. So since you saw a peeping tom out, so you thought when you were a kid, do you have like the medium abilities still now?
I do. More often than not, I block things out because if I don't, it can be overwhelming sometimes. But um, when I go investigate, I tend to open up a little bit more than normal.
Okay.
How about you, Michael? Do you have any special abilities?
I can fly. I can turn invisible, and I can live to be 300 years old.
Awesome.
I wouldn't say I have any special abilities or anything like that. But since her and I have been investigating, there's been times where I've cut myself up, and there's been a few times where I've been affected. In fact, one of the little pieces of evidence we're going to show here later, I probably that was the first time I really got really affected. It was kind of it was really a weird experience, and we get into that later. But no, I'm more of like she's more of my lightning rod. I'm the historian and tech guy, and we keep on adding more and more stuff as we go along, more gadgets to use and whatnot. But I'm a trained historian myself. I do genealogy and whatnot, so I'm very much in trying to get all the facts about the location we're at, and then making sure that everything we have is crosses the threshold of being acceptable in fact, rather than being something that's caused by the wind or a loose board or the house contracting because of temperature differences, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned something about 300. Lynn says go for 400. So anyway, what? Shoot. Oh, so when you're going to locations, you guys tend more to like focus on the historical aspect of things. Do you learn about the encounters, the paranormal encounters, or just try to see what you experience so you're not swayed one way or the other?
yeah, I think that is an inherent danger. I think for any investigator, no matter how experienced they are, is maybe knowing too much. There has to be a fine line. You want to know a little bit, but you don't want to know too much, because if everybody's telling you, "Hey, I go in that corner and 30 people have felt a hand across the back of their neck," and you go there, and then you have that sensation. Is that your subconscious doing that because you've heard that repeated story and you know that's going to happen? So so there's kind of a fine line there. So we try to get a little bit of information, but not too much information, if you know what I mean. So that way it doesn't affect you, because your brain is a complicated thing. It can do some funny things on you sometimes. So
for sure.
And then after we do an investigation, then part of looking at the evidence and stuff is me going in there and researching as much as I possibly can, as far as was there a lot of deaths at this place? What kind of tragedies happened, or whatever happened there? And then oftentimes then you use that, and that verifies some things that you may find during your investigation, whether it's an EVP or you catch something that's moving or whatever. So
yeah, exactly. Very true. Oh, okay, cool. Well, you'll find I'm full of questions, so pop quiz at the end. Be ready.
That's all right. I used to be a teacher, so I'll be ready.
Oh crap! Well, forget the pop quiz, then we're good. So you talk a lot about the Crescent Hotel, and we really want to go there. I think it'd be a fascinating place to go because what's there. what draws you to the Crescent? Why there, and why do you feel as though you're comfortable, or you want to keep going back there?
It's just a beautiful city. It's like stepping back in time, with amenities. But it's just you drive in and just the beauty of the Ozarks, and it's like
Yeah.
a little Victorian city that
Mm-hmm.
you can just step back and visualize what it used to be. And then for me, because I'm open, um, pretty much everywhere you go in Eureka Springs, there is some sort of feeling of spiritualness, closeness.
Okay.
The springs that are there, I think that helps. It's on a limestone mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The Crescent is
Mm-hmm.
hill, I should say. I don't know. It might be a
Oh, okay.
mountain,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's so fascinating. It's a very, very sad story for the
Okay.
most part.
Mm-hmm.
But there's really good people there that just absolutely love the hotel. And I don't know if they stay there all the time or if they visit. I know Brecky is there all the time.
Okay.
And I've caught Theodora. I don't know if you know any of these people I'm talking
No,
about.
I sure don't.
Well, I shared Brecky as, the kiddo. He died of a burst appendix. And then Theodora was Dr. Baker's girlfriend, if you will. And I've caught her. I don't know if she stays or just kind of comes and goes, but I won't ruin it for you. I'll let you guys do the research. But there's
Yeah.
a lot of people there.
Yeah. So I do know, I've been to Eureka Springs. I used to live down there when I was like 2 or 3 years old. I don't really remember. But I've been to Eureka Springs. I know the history of the hotel and what the happenings that went on there. I'm real familiar with it. So I'm like Michael. I like the history. I like the history of the places and to learn about the history of the places. Sometimes I know too much when I go somewhere, but then with our team, they don't want to know. So we use that to help us investigate. So that's a cool thing. We cross talk about that. So Michael, what is it for you?
Well, one is just it's kind of a special place for me because that was the first time I ever did a quote unquote ghost investigation. So there's always that draw for me, sentimental wise. And like she said, it is a beautiful place to go to, very relaxing place to go to. If you ever get down there, it's always good to spend at least 2-3 days there.
Sure.
And it is a place where it is, you'd be hard pressed not to find a building that didn't have some sort of haunting in it. And I saw there was a pop up there about limestone, and there's so much limestone there, and so many natural springs, and the theories of limestone and energy and water and natural water flowing through those mountains, because that was originally why it was created, was for a place for people to go and get healing from whether it was drinking or bathing in the water. And Native Americans, before white settlers got there, were using it for the same purposes. And so, and there's a lot of places, any place where there's like those natural springs, there's usually limestone involved. There's usually seems to be more energy in those type of places. And so it's no different than with Eureka Springs. So I know we've been there like 4 or 5 times over the last 10 years. And it's just a very fun place to go visit and investigate for sure. Oh,
awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I've been there. I think Ozarks is fascinating too. Yeah, you've been down to Dogwood Canyon and Blue Eye? You should go right south to Eureka Springs. There's a real cool canyon right north in Arkansas if you ever check it out. So
okay, we'll have to do that. We'll put that on the list.
Yeah. So I'd like to know, so you caught the bug when you went to Crescent Hotel. I'll touch on it one more time. What happened there that made you catch the bug? What did you have an experience? Did you see something? Did you catch evidence that made a difference from you kind of knowing what it was to believing that the paranormal was there?
I think it's an amalgamation of things. I can't say it was just one particular thing. It was from, I'm a trained historian, so just getting a knowledge of the place And it's a crazy story about the Crescent Hotel and Dr. Baker and him treating cancer patients, but he really wasn't treating them. He was injecting them with just junk, and they died horrible deaths. But yet he was writing letters to the families and forging names so that he can get more money from the families while their loved ones were dying in the hotel / cancer treatment hospital. So there was a historical aspect for me. It was the beauty part of it all. And then I don't know, I really enjoyed the whole investigation part of it. And I know there was one time we were there, and we did one of those regular tours, which have gotten really commercialized, but it's all right. You learn some things. And she had taken some photos, and we were going through them later on her cell phone. And there was a little girl that it's been within the last 100 years or so, fell unfortunately off one of the balconies or one of the banisters down. You look up, you have the stairways, and you have the where you want to call it, going all the way up to the top. Well, she fell to her death, unfortunately, to the lobby on one of those stairwells. And it happened, like I said, it's been decades ago. Well, she took a picture looking up, and probably about the third or fourth floor, about where this little girl fell. There's a little girl looking straight down at us, clear as day. Didn't see when I took the photo. I mean, it looks like a real life person. And our group, there was nobody under the age of 18 in our group. And furthermore, the group had already moved down.
We tend to hang back.
Yeah, we hang back a little bit in the back, like the back of the bus people, on those kind of things. And then that was probably our second time there that happened. I think it was. So that was just more validation that. So it's just a very intriguing place. There's always something new to learn about the place. A very tragic place too. So they don't know how many people died. There was no records, but it probably had to be dozens, if not over 100 people that died as a result of Dr. Baker's supposed cancer treatments. So
there's a little bit of an emotional attachment, just caring, for who's still there and hearing their story and understanding what they went through.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Oh, we need to put a little pinpoint on our radar and make a name at it, because we need to go there for sure.
There's also a side note. There's an Italian restaurant there called Emilio's.
Okay.
Best Italian you'll probably ever have. They put it in an old farmhouse, and so it's kind of crowded, but you will not find better Italian than Emilio's.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yes.
fantastic.
So make sure you go there when you go. Yes.
That's a good shout out, because I know there are teams when they go investigate, they want to find those nice little like hole in the wall places to eat at. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's very much a hole in the wall for sure. But yeah, it's fantastic food.
You heard it here. So
perfect.
So yeah. So 2000. So you've been investigating Pam, since 2005. Where have you been, and what have you experienced? I mean, you have this medium capability. So tell us about an experience that you remember better than any other.
I've been to Eureka, and then there was an old abandoned house on one of our friend's property. That was pretty profound. You'll get to see here in a little bit. I sent the evidence over. It was confirming without ruining what's in the picture before we see it. It's confirming that. What is it?
Yeah.
I can post it.
Okay.
I can show it.
We can show it. I can jump into that if you guys want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll set it up a little bit. My friends built a house on this property, and this was an older home that a farming couple had, and they wanted to build a new home at some point. They had even laid the pad and all that. They both ended up dying, and I'm probably going to drive him nuts because we could go down the historical route, but long story short, they both ended up dying. But the woman there had a cat, and she loved her cat. And so we walked into this home, and it was pitch black. And this is the first picture I got. So I don't know if you guys can see the cat. on the
Yep,
floor to the
can.
right.
Yep.
That cat is not in the house. And then there's a white mist to the left of it. There's a recliner behind that.
Yep.
The people
Mhm.
that had lived there previously just kind of left everything in it.
Okay.
So those are the items that you're seeing in the home. But
Wow.
anyway, it was so profound to me for two reasons. The first reason is animals have souls. And
Mhm.
I was on the fence, like, do they really? But this was proof, that they do.
Yep.
And then later, we heard a cat meowing, but we couldn't prove or disprove that there wasn't a cat outside the home, but we didn't see one. It's just one
Okay.
of those things where you have that personal experience but can't prove it.
Gotcha.
And then this is where Michael got really affected for the first time. I feel like the woman that passed here really liked Michael, and I have a picture. I started taking pictures because he started getting affected, and he just wanted to bawl. He just was crying, getting ready to cry,
Wow.
and had a ton of sorrow. And so I started snapping pictures, and I got a picture of a hand on his hand. And
Wow.
so I'll let him take over that experience.
Yeah.
She didn't send that one.
No, we didn't send that one.
I didn't stay in the house. I was probably in the house for about 5 minutes actually, and then I was out of it. And her and our friend investigated the house because I just felt this. I was in the kitchen, or it used to be the kitchen anyways, because this house was probably from about 1870, 1880. It was a very old farmhouse, and I was standing there and I just wanted to start bawling my eyes out. I'd never, with the exception of maybe my parents dying, I've never felt that sad before in my life. It just overcame, and we didn't know nothing about the house before we went in. Knew absolutely zero. And it wasn't until later where I started doing some genealogical research about the couple that lived there, the fact that they had poured the foundation and was going to build their dream home next door. And then, like she said, the husband went up for the evening to go to bed. He came back the next morning and his wife was still in the chair on the front porch. She passed away in her sleep. And then the husband, about a year later, had a farming accident on the place. And then he soon thereafter died in the farmhouse himself. And so it just felt like this unfulfilled, dream that these people had that they never got to fulfill. And, we can only theorize, but my theory was that after digging into their lives, that this was their home, and this is where their unfulfilled dreams were here, and so they were just kind of staying, so to speak. Now, on a side note, we went back to the place again about maybe a year later, and it was absolutely nothing. We felt nothing, captured nothing. It was just phone just quiet. There was nothing there whatsoever. We don't go back again because the house is about ready to fall in. It's just got to where it's just dangerous to go inside the house anymore. But it was quite the experience. And the lady that owns the property, her and her husband, she's a professional photographer and has been a photographer for 30 years or so. And she took some pictures of the outside of the house at night while we were there. And she was having equipment malfunctions that she couldn't understand during this investigation that never happened to her before. And then she took a picture of the house, and one of the pictures was like the house was like had this weird like glowing orange color all around it, this aura, and she could not explain it. She'd take another photos of the house, it was just fine. And there's one photo where everything was just this weird orange aura around the house. She had no explanation for it, and she'd been a photographer for 30 years. In fact, she does like there's a Marine Corps ball that has her in Kansas City, has her come in every year to take photos of the Marines and their spouses at this thing.
Okay.
And, so she's credible.
She's very credible, and it was a really interesting experience. One I'll never forget, and I think then one that she won't either. So
wow.
How long was it after the couple had passed away that you were in and got this picture?
Oh, they've been gone for, I think they passed away sometime maybe the early 90s. They've been gone for quite some time. it wasn't a recent thing. Yeah.
Wow.
I just
Wow.
wondered if it was more recent than that, but I mean, somebody was still holding on. That's actually who was
Wow.
the picture. And I legitimately thought that was an actual cat. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying
So
that
did I.
it's not? Because it's pretty solid.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no cat there.
Wow.
That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
And like I said, I
crazy.
stepped outside, and it probably took me another 5 minutes or so before I finally kind of calmed, where I felt normal again. And then I didn't go back
Right.
in. The rest of the day, I was like, I'm done for the rest of the evening in that house. But yeah,
We,
I don't need to be crying again.
yeah.
Once was enough,
We,
right?
right.
you did, but you didn't run properly. You don't run, so let's not do
No,
that.
I just, I didn't run away 1,000 yards away. No, I just stayed
Yeah,
outside for a while.
that's a good thing because you usually get hurt doing that stuff. Um, so equipment, what type of equipment do you use, and do you have any information for people that are starting out as ghost hunters on type of equipment that you're comfortable with, or you think that would be good for them?
I think the best equipment to use sometimes is just yourself. And then also, using an I can't talk, a voice recorder, digital voice recorder. I mean, that's number one right there. Secondly, I remember we talked to Shane Pittman, who works with, he was on the Holzer Files
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. And we saw him at the Paranormal Convention a year ago. And I was going to pick his brain about equipment. And he also cited a thermal camera, which is pretty good. You can't fool a thermal camera if you got,
Right,
you're looking to shoot into a room and all you see a
right,
dark outline of a cool spot and looks like a figure. You can't, and there's nobody standing there. You can't fake that. I mean, that's a really good. Those are two really good, I think, reliable pieces of equipment right there. EMF
okay,
detectors are great, but they're really sensitive, and so it could be your cell phone if you don't have it on airplane mode, which we always tell. We lead
mm-hmm.
tours. We always tell people to put your phone in airplane mode so it doesn't necessarily will affect the
Mm-hmm.
equipment.
Right,
We have what's called an EDI device, which are a little bit more shielded. It's a little bit better for detecting EMF. It also detects barometric pressure, temperature,
okay,
vibration. It's like 5 different things it does. We use laser grids too. We just started incorporating some video cameras, digital recorders in that regards. And then another good thing to use is using ultraviolet pictures and getting on a different spectrum. I know I've taken thousands of photos and probably had about 9 or 10 that were actually, stuff I couldn't explain, but those are really good for catching light anomalies that you not see with the human
okay,
eye, or even shadows as well. So, but I would say the top two things would be like if you can get one heat thermal camera, and then
okay,
also a digital recorder. Those are two of the best things
okay,
I would say, or the most reliable pieces of equipment that at least we use anyway. So.
okay.
Okay. Hey, Dave, welcome in. Welcome in. His question is, what is your feelings about flashlights and cat balls?
We like cat balls. We're a little on the fence about flashlights because usually they unscrew them to the point where it's kind of not completely screwed. If you don't unscrew it and just leave it and it comes on, then yeah, that's pretty valid.
Cool.
Yeah, I think with flashlights first, if you can ask the question, that's kind of the main piece of equipment. If you can ask the question 2 or 3 times and then get that response just like that, because just one time that could be just coincidence.
Gotcha.
But if you do it 2 or 3 times, repeat it, and you say, "Hey, please, could you do that again for me?" and it happens on cue again, then okay, there may be something legit. And the cat balls too, you have to be careful with those because the vibration and
Mm-hmm.
the on the floor or anything like that can set those off. I know we got these little discs that will set them on top of there, so it kind of elevates them off the floor a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The craziest thing we ever had with cat balls one time is we got to investigate the tour bus that was originally owned by Waylon Jennings. A
Oh,
high school friend of mine bought it from a group out in Kansas, and he toured with that for years. He had it. My friend knows all about it. It was ordered from Belgium, all this kind of stuff. But we got to investigate it,
I was like, we're not going to get anything.
And so, yeah, it turned out to be like one of the craziest nights. So it wasn't like when Jennings was there or Johnny Paycheck, who used it for a while. There had been some fatal accidents along the highway near where this bus was. It's just sitting there. Doesn't run or anything like that. But I was putting cat balls. There's these bunk beds, and they still have the mattresses in them. And I was putting them in the bunk beds, and every once in a while, I was getting the cat balls to light up on the bunk bed. There's no way that it could be any vibration that would cause it because it was on nice soft mattress. I could jump up and down, run around, whatever, and wouldn't set them off. And we was getting interaction with those, and that was probably the most craziest experience we've had with cat balls was that night and with the throat bus. But
that's cool.
Yeah. The only thing I got against cat balls is I forget where they are and I kick them across the floor. So
every time.
I tell you what,
it's like, whoop, there goes.
Yeah, it's like Charlie Brown kicking that football with man, it goes
with Lucy. Or, yeah, but he always hits it. He don't never miss.
Every time. Crap. So, what kind of tell me? So I see you got some videos down here of Estes doing some other stuff that you sent to us to show us. As far as that goes, can you tell me of one of the best DVPs or the best DVP you've ever caught?
Oh, you want me to tell that story? You want to tell it?
Go ahead. He's the storyteller.
So there's a train station old train depot in a town called Pleasant Hill, Missouri, not far from us, and it was built in 1903. And in the 19-teens, there was a shootout at this place. We've investigated this place several times, and there was 2 men involved. Long story short. One police officer was killed. One of the bad guys, so to speak, was killed in the shootout, and the other bad guy was wounded. He was subsequently put in jail, even though he was shot up a couple times. And sheriff left his station for a while, and some townspeople, nobody was ever arrested for it, strangled the guy in his jail cell, and then strung him up from a water tower as a warning for other, bad guys coming in town, so to speak. And so we were in there investigating, and Pamela had asked about turning off a light switch. And we later was listening to the audio evidence later. You could distinctly hear a man's voice saying, okay.
No, fine.
Or fine. Okay, it's fine. That's right. They said fine. And an attitude of like, okay, I'll do it again.
Because the lights were on and off. And then I said, hey, can you do this again? And we turned the recorder on, and he was like, fine.
He forced him to say something.
If I must.
Yeah.
We've used the Estes method there, and it was on a tour we was leading, and I went under it first, and she was asking me questions, which of course I couldn't hear. And I was getting like, go away, leave. And then it was like, F you, F off. And then one of our guests did it. She was bold enough to get on there. And I asked her a direct question because she was giving these answers that were related to the shootout. And so I asked a direct question. And immediately the answer was F off. And then she went under it. And I was asking her questions. And I was getting back responses of F you, F off. I mean, it was validation. It's one of the biggest things I ever used for validation for the Estes method. It's like, you cannot say the F word on the radio. Certainly not multiple times. And we had other people that heard the same thing we were hearing. We believe both the men are still there. They're angry guys.
They're grumpy old men.
Yeah, it's nothing dynamic or anything like that. It's just two angry guys there, upset.
That's pretty impressive.
We've had a couple of interesting experiences there for sure. So, yeah.
Brenda actually got that. We were in a house in Kansas and actually got it walking through a doorway after an Estes session. After it was over, she actually caught that on her EVP recorder, which is really cool. So, what is the video that we have here, Brenda, for the shadow? Can we go through that?
Before we flip it up, we'll just jump into that one. David, we'll get to your question in a little bit. But you guys were in the Riley Carmack house.
Correct. Yeah, it's in Plattsburgh, Missouri. It's
Well, which video?
The basement.
the basement. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Riley Carmack Museum. It's the home of the Clinton County Historical Society there in Plattsburgh. The house I think dates back to the 1880s. So it's a very old house. Several people died in the house because there was a doctor that had a practice in there for a while, and unfortunately, some patients succumbed to it. And of course, it has a very old basement underneath. I think we've been there twice now. We've investigated the place. And this would have been from our second investigation that we did about a month ago. I think it was that we were there.
It's a Victorian home. It's very beautiful.
Okay. Is it gonna work?
Oh, I didn't realize you guys were ready for it. There you go.
Yeah, I think you might have to rewind it back to the beginning. If it replays, it'd be in the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay.
So there's a cellar in the basement, and we left the camera rolling, and so nobody was in the basement when this happened.
So if you saw there for a second, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have no explanation for that. I've caught a faint EVP that I couldn't quite understand down there before. So it wasn't a class A, but I have no explanation for that shadow bumping into the side of the screen like that. There was nobody down there. We were the only two people. There was of course a museum person on hand to be in the building with us, but we were upstairs at this time. In fact, we left this camera rolling for like 4 hours downstairs in the basement while we investigated upstairs. I wanted to focus on this laser grid because this room itself was a little.
You can feel it.
Yeah, this part of the basement for whatever reason is a little off-putting, and I caught that, and I couldn't explain it. Tried to, but couldn't explain it. I had a friend of mine look at it, and he just thought it was a great catch. So,
okay. Do you like these laser grids? You like using them?
I do. The bad part about them is they don't have like anything that records on them. So I always try to set up a digital recorder on them so I can videotape it. So if anything does cross that, then I did have something happen to me in real time with it once. We were at the Missouri State Pen? We was at the Missouri State Pen, and we were up in the upstairs portion of it, and we had, to my right, I believe like a cat ball that went off, and then shortly thereafter, somebody walked right across that laser. I didn't have at the time. I didn't have anything recording video of it, but somebody walked right across that laser grid and set off the laser grid. And it was, I think I said a choice word or two because it startled me. I've never been scared on a hunt or a ghost investigation. But there's been a couple of times I've been startled, and that was one of them. I know I probably yelled out a bomb on that one. But,
I know how. I've done it a few times. Did it here a couple of weeks ago in a place, but we're going to have on our podcast. You've been in Missouri State Penitentiary. I cut my teeth as an investigator in Missouri State Penitentiary. Okay. That was the first place I ever investigated, and I had a camcorder, a night vision camcorder, and a digital recorder in my hand. That was all I had in my arsenal. I mean, that was it. Talked about getting hooked. Didn't take long. Didn't take long at all. So
we didn't take long going there. Yeah,
that is an awesome place to investigate. It really is.
I have yet to go.
Yeah. So get to Dave's question here.
Hold on. Go ahead, Pam.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I recommend Waverly Hills.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that one's on our bucket list as well.
Yeah.
David wanted to know if any of you guys ever played around with SLS cameras.
Yeah, I have a phone app. I don't know if it's the phone app. We don't really have an apparatus device that is a true SLS camera. It was mapping in like a chair, and so my experience with it isn't great just because I think it's a phone app.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely on my bucket list to get is a nice
I-
SLS camera, but you gotta save up a little coin for those. So
Yeah.
You ain't wrong. I have one, so I love mine. Once you learn how to use it and what it's mapping, to know what's being mapped and what isn't, you get that figured out. And your phone app's the same. You have to figure out what it'll map and what it won't, because even my SLS will map a chair. So you gotta learn to use it. So that's the thing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll give it a try again.
Yep.
Yeah, because like if you are in the middle of a doorway where you know there isn't absolutely anything there
Mhm.
for it to be mapping, but it's mapping
Mhm.
something. We were actually at Beatty Mansion in St. Joe, and he was using his SLS, and he was up towards the ceiling, and I go, "What is that?" And he goes, "Oh, it's mapping the ceiling fan." And he like moves over, but this thing totally was not even
Yeah.
nowhere close to the ceiling fan. And I'm like, how is it the ceiling fan
Yeah.
when it's not on the ceiling fan?
Yeah.
So
They did actually
Wow.
map it.
yeah,
Once they
Like,
moved away from that fan, it stayed there. So we did actually map on it. Yep.
yeah.
That did
And then
happen.
all of a sudden it was gone. Just
Yep.
boop, it's gone.
but
Yep.
the
Happened
ceiling
to us.
was still there.
Yeah. Happened to us in a church too.
Yeah.
I was learning how to use it, and up on the ceiling, no ceiling fans, no lights hanging down, no nothing.
Nothing.
But here is a figure on the ceiling, and it looked like it was dancing.
Correct.
wow.
We did catch
And
it.
then it comes from the ceiling straight down, and then it disappears.
Yep.
That's
So
crazy.
keep using it. It works.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it a try. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So what? I don't know. Hang on. Hey, David. I don't want to. We'll get into that next one in a moment, but I want to stop really quick. You said earlier you were talking about when you guys give tours, that you make everybody go in airplane mode. What tours do you do? Like, is it a location that you do, or do you do on public haunts? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, we usually lead. Most of the time, it's about 8 to 10 people. We try to keep them relatively small because some of the places we go are relatively small, and they're places that are kind of off the beaten path, where it's a small railroad depot in little town Pleasant Hill, or there's an antique shop that we've been to, which that's what the other video is relating to. So we try to pick out of the way places like that to take folks to, and we do these small little tours. And oftentimes you have to
Okay.
keep them small because the fact of just
Noise.
space. You know, we only get
Sure.
20 people, and you're shoulder to shoulder. It makes it hard for an investigation.
Good.
The only exception to that rule is the Battle of Lone Jack, Missouri, which is east of Harrisonville on east of Kansas City on 50 Highway, and it was fought in August 1862. And there's a museum there, and then there's a cemetery where soldiers were buried in a mass grave, and then there's where the hotel used to be on the other side of the road where the museum was at. So it's like 3 locations, and we'll usually take maybe about 15 to 20 people on that because we can split them up and do a really good investigation for extended period of time on the grounds. But typically we keep them small, and we usually, like I said, we keep them to kind of out of the way places that are not, it's not
Commercialized.
Missouri Pen, and it's not Crescent Hotel. It's more smaller, more intimate
Okay.
places that we investigate with our tours that we do.
Awesome.
That's cool.
And how would anybody get a hold of you to do a tour? What's your next tour coming up?
So we just launched our website. It's pmsghosthunting.com. And so we're starting to schedule things. We kind of got out of it for a little bit. We both had parents that were ill and passed. And so we're jumping back in it now. And so we're going to post those items there, and then our Facebook page, PMS Ghost Hunting. Then we have Instagram, TikTok. So
Okay.
you can just go out there. I would probably recommend the website because everything that we're doing will be posted there.
Okay.
Yeah, we post evidence that we've collected there. podcast interviews we've been on, so people can go back and rewatch those, and hopefully including this one as well. And of course, like she said, and there's a little bit about us as well in there, and about our equipment that we use. When we encourage people to bring their own equipment, but we let them share. We share our equipment with the people too when we do on these tours. We've got plenty that we can spread around, and
Cool.
and like she said, they can go to our website and click and order tickets for any events that we do in the future. So
Okay.
We do a lot of, like the big name locations, but we also like to do those one-offs or the not so popular
Sure.
before they get popular, so to speak.
Sure.
So yeah, that's
Oh.
actually pretty cool.
I have a question. When you're at the train depot, have you ever done any train cars? Actual train cars?
No, just the bus.
Are there train cars at that depot that you can?
it's not an operational depot anymore, but it does have an active train track that goes past there. So whenever you're investigating, invariably there's always a train that rumbles by.
Okay.
It's a very active train because it goes. There's an Amtrak that goes right through there from Kansas City to St. Louis, and then there's freight trains that go through there all the time. So
Okay. So I asked that question because our team did a depot, and we actually spent more time. They were train cars actually on train tracks. You could go in and investigate 2 of them.
okay.
And if you do that, you will be surprised what is on a train car.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, we investigate Waylon Jennings' bus, so we're wouldn't surprise us.
So the depot has bought and is still buying old train cars. They've got a couple of engines. They got a mail car. They got like a social club car and
Right.
stuff like that. And while you can investigate the depot itself, you also
Yep.
are allowed to go in and get locked in the depot graveyard, so to speak, where the
Correct.
train cars are, and investigate and like walk in the grounds and stuff like that. And it was awesome. We got a lot of interactions from the train cars. So.
Well, we'll have to.
Saying there had to be an employee there all night had to be an employee with you all night while you were investigating. So same thing.
Makes sense.
But maybe that's something you'd be like, hey guys, get some cars.
Yeah.
Get some
Right, yeah.
cars.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Because they do, we feel they do hold a lot. Like in the mail car, Tanya picked up what sounds like mail being put in the slots.
Right. Yep.
Like you could still hear the mail going in the slots.
Cool.
She has a recording of it. And then, the tour guide was like, yeah, that's actually a claim that you can hear him doing that.
Right.
So, it was cool. It was cool.
Plus more. There was more.
Yeah, there was a lot more. Yeah.
All right.
You'll have to go back and watch that podcast
Good.
that we did on that one. So, yeah, there was a lot more.
Right.
Okay, so we got that done and out of the way. Let's talk about the antique store and that investigation so we can play this last video.
Cool. Let's see it.
I'm excited.
I'll let you set it up because you were there. So
Michael was downstairs. There's a residual, what we think is farmer downstairs, but I had my little group upstairs, and what you're going to see is the owner, because I always like to have the owner of the place that we're performing the investigation at to try to do like an Estes method or something, if they're comfortable with it. We have some owners that are like, nope, peace out. Just bring me the keys later. Don't piss any ghosts off. I'm good. And so she finds things missing all the time. So she wanted to go under and kind of, figure out who it was, what she could hear. And so we were just doing the Estes method, and I was asking her questions, and she was answering some. But this was before we found out who was kind of haunting that little area. He stays in a couple of the booths, And every time I go in there, I can feel him and I talk to him. But it's not till 2 weeks ago I got confirmation of what happened and who this person is. And it was just, I almost cried. I was like, oh my gosh. Just that confirmation is always fantastic. But because sometimes, you're like, am I hallucinating? Am I self-doubting is sometimes, things that you want to debunk and say, no, I don't know about this. And so she's sitting there answering questions under the Estes method. And then she's saying different words, but you're going to see some poltergeist activity. So we believe it's a gentleman that from another Estes method that a lady had attended after this video that you're going to see. This was her first investigation. She was probably 68. She came with her daughter. She had never done Estes method, and she sat down and she started talking to the gentleman, and he was burnt in a fire. And so I was asking the owner, do you know of any fires that had happened? And she didn't know of any. And we really hadn't dug in to try to find out. But he was saying the same words over and over again: pain, hurt, burnt, fire. And then he would repeat himself. But she's saying these words through, the earphones and hearing these words. And then all of a sudden she started crying and she threw her earphones off and she's like, I connected with this guy. I can't do this. I got to get out of here. So she left. She couldn't handle it. And so 2 weeks ago, the owner reached out to a historian and he confirmed that just adjacent to her store was a really bad fire and a gentleman died. And so we have a name now. So I think we're doing another tour. It's on our website to buy tickets, May 29th. So I'm excited. I want to go in and actually talk to him and call him by name and hear his story more. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready?
We're ready.
But the thing is you have to talk really loud.
So you'll have to kind of pay attention to the kind of behind her head.
Okay.
So.
Oh. Oh.
Not loud with the pictures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. And behind Chris.
So I started speaking to it in the video. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
you're
No
moving.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wow, that's great evidence.
Yeah.
Can you tell her your name?
And it did it for quite a long time. So he was having to move it multiple times to keep it going.
Wow.
It stopped.
And then it just all of a sudden stopped.
I came upstairs and I jumped up and down on the floor. I ran past it, whatever I could, and I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it do it again by that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had just. You actually caught me in the very first seconds of the film. You see me moving downstairs into the basement
Okay.
to reset some equipment when all this happened.
Yeah, I saw that in moving in the back. So.
Yeah, so it wasn't a shadow figure. It was just me.
Gotcha.
And it's so crazy how it moves because it's almost like it was grabbed and then, goes back and forth.
Or just being pushed
It's
on.
not like it was hit. It was like grabbed and moved is what it looks like.
Correct. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably our best poltergeist activity we've ever experienced, whether just in person or recorded or whatever. It's probably it's the best thing we've ever caught as far as that goes.
That is really good. That's great evidence. That's a paranormal investigator dream there. That truly is.
I was
to
say
catch
that's one of the
something.
holy grails
It is. That is
for
true.
sure. To actually catch something.
Yeah, well,
So
hopefully
Yeah.
we'll get to catch more.
yeah. How
Oh
often do
yeah.
you guys investigate there?
How often do we investigate there?
Yeah.
Um,
Probably about once a year, I would say.
yeah, we'll probably do more now that our life's kind of been given back to us with
Mhm.
parents gone. But yeah, we'll probably schedule maybe three or four events there. We don't want to wear out our welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. Yep, yep. Totally get that. Totally get that. All right, Tim, any questions?
I was just kind of curious, Ken. Uh, you've been doing this for 10 years, so I assume you like to go to these out of way places and stuff like that, and Waverly Hills. Oh my gosh, Target, we throw a dart at the wall and hit that every time, for sure. Um, is there anywhere you will not go back to?
Hmm.
I don't know. Is there? I'll let you go then.
I'm not a fan of the Basin Hotel in Eureka Springs. Um, I can't be in there very long. I have to leave. There's
Okay.
a place here in Kansas City called West Bottoms. They're revitalizing it, which is fantastic. But there's a few buildings where I'm like, okay, and super nauseous, get a really bad headache, and I just don't feel right. So I just
Okay.
leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. And we all have a place like that, it seems like, through our investigations that happens with. So,
Mhm.
uh, cool. I appreciate all the story you told. You guys got some real credible evidence. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I had something like
So
that. Just as cool. We actually, we were actually in a place in Kansas again, and we got stuff thrown at us, but we don't have any camera video. So,
I
hopefully,
know
guys,
that's
that's really,
frustrating, isn't it?
yeah, it
Yeah,
happened. Yeah. So
we're
no,
we're trying to investigate from like the moment we get out of the vehicle,
correct,
but
correct.
sometimes it still doesn't help. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I appreciate you guys' time. I mean, what you do is fascinating. I think you two together make a great team. Sounds like,
Yeah.
and
Thank
I mean, Brian and Haley, with us, if you want to go ghost hunting, just get in the truck because we'll come pick you up. I mean, seriously. I, Brenda and I will ghost hunt every day of the year if we could actually do it.
you. I know.
That's a
Us
true fact.
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
really would.
Definitely want to team up and
So,
we'll go somewhere together for sure.
Oh, absolutely,
exactly.
absolutely, for sure.
That would be
And
awesome.
again, thank you guys so much for
Thanks for having us.
working
Yeah,
and being in this podcast with us tonight. Um,
correct.
what? Uh, I don't know. Let me see. I was squirrel.
Shiny
Ghost.
object. That's me. Yeah, yeah.
It happens. We always invite our guests back, so we will make sure we get you rescheduled or scheduled again for that. Um, is there anything? I'm still looking. I'm looking for that one question. That
No, I got
one
you.
question.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
It once upon a time I was in journalism, so I know about trying to get that one really good question to throw in there.
Yeah,
Nobody's
Just
asked.
exactly.
that one. Just
Exactly.
that one.
You'll think
Um,
at 3 o'clock this morning.
yes, yes, I will think about it and it'll pop in. Um, do you guys ever do any like residential cases or are they all locations?
We've done a couple residential locations. Most of the locations we'd go to though have been like either businesses or maybe kind of historical places, or we've done a courthouse before.
I did prior to meeting Michael.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was just one place was, I think it was their imagination. because they wanted it so badly to be haunted.
Oh, I
And then the
understand.
other, it was their grandma. So
Oh,
yeah, just that
okay.
confirmation of there's nothing,
Okay.
there's not bad juju in my house. It's my grandma.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like one time we went to a
yeah.
bowling alley. They had us investigate because they thought it was haunted, and we were there for I don't know 3 or 4 hours. And ultimately, we told them it's like, well, what you're hearing is upstairs. It's really hot. There's contraction of
Mhm.
materials in the building. Your machinery is making that sound. I mean, we eventually just said, look, your place is, and she didn't feel anything. If she doesn't feel it, she's my lightning rod, as I like to describe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I was yawning.
yeah, yeah, so there just wasn't anything there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we try
Gotcha.
to debunk as much and either tell them no, it's not there, or if there's something here, then this is how you proceed. With it. It's not
Okay.
nothing scary. It's nothing horrible. You just acknowledge their existence and kind of
Right.
live together, and just tell them to set your boundaries if you need to. So
Correct.
All
Yep.
right, here's my question.
okay,
If you could invent one paranormal tool, what would it be? Or what would it do?
Mm.
whoa,
Paranormal
a
tool.
paranormal tool. Wow. I guess ultimately, which would be probably every investigator's dream, would be to create something where it actually not just a stick figure, but actually showed you the spirit standing there in the doorway. I don't know, something
Oh,
like
cool.
that other dimension that these spirits are in, because I think there's a realm there of whether it's another
Mhm.
dimension or another reality, or we can't see. Our own perceptions are limited,
Correct.
and so there's something and so if we could get somebody that can develop that device that can break that barrier down, I mean, that would be
Correct. That
the
would be.
ideal. But
That would be.
technology's advanced a lot in the last 20 years.
Yeah, it has.
Way farther, especially like with capturing EVPs. It's way more advanced because if you
Correct.
use the old tape, you could always say, well, the tape had an extra, it didn't get
It's
wiped
warped.
clean, or there's warped,
Correct.
whatever. But when you're using
Correct.
digital, you can't use that argument anymore. So
Correct.
technology advanced, but eventually, yeah, that would be, I guess, the tool probably anybody would love to create. You'd
That
have to be a physicist probably to figure that out. So and that's
I
I'm not
like
that
it.
smart.
that would be awesome though, because you always hear these stories about people who see apparitions. And it's like, I have not, but if we had a device that actually showed that, then that would be really cool to
Mhm.
actually see
Correct.
them standing there. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was a good answer. I like that one.
Yeah.
That is good.
Do you have a different one, Pam?
I would just like to be able to talk to them more. And, I ask goofy questions like, did you like bubble gum? You know, what was your favorite food? I talk to them as if I was trying to get to know somebody instead of, can you make a noise? So
Yeah, no.
just
Cool.
being able to get to know the spirit.
Tanya is referring to your thing there, Michael. That would be wonderful.
It
We
was.
did that. We talked about it last night on our podcast, actually, at Billy Creek. The lady at the Civil War house, or the farmhouse, um, is a very unhappy entity, and we let her speak through Tanya. Tanya's our medium, and we just let her speak through her. And she was telling us about how she was unhappy about all of these people that come in her house, and
Right.
the unwanted guests, and all of the leaves and the mud and stuff, and they don't take care of her house, and everything's in disarray. So it it really is awesome when you can actually speak to them to try to get their story.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe when we go back, she'll remember us, and then she'll want to open up about her life instead of, just being mad. So,
Say,
Yeah.
look, I'm cleaning my feet. I'm not bringing any leaves in.
yeah.
True. That's very true.
She actually did thank us for allowing her just to vent, you know,
Mhm.
and just to say a bunch of stuff, which was cool.
Sure.
She also told us that we were the most respected team that had been there in like 20 years.
Correct.
Wow, that's sad.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was awesome just because we let her vent. You know, we just
Correct.
let her go crazy. So, it's awesome.
Good.
So, I'm glad that you guys do that as well. That's really cool.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any last things from PMS before we sign off for the night?
The
What's coming up next?
ghost investigation at
On the
the antique store. And go ahead.
Well, and then in June, we are teaming up with Chumming with the Spirits. And you've seen their podcast. We've become good friends with them, and we're going to be doing an investigation of the Sally House at the end of June. So we're
awesome.
very excited about that. It's
Oh, yeah.
we've never been there before. We've always heard about it, so that'd be a great experience. And the week before that, we're going to Deadwood, South Dakota. So we're planning to do a lot of investigating up there as well. But that's just going to be on our own. That's our vacations to go there. And then in October, we're teaming up with MT Paranormal and a couple other groups to investigate the brothel in Aurora, Missouri.
Yes, you'll love the brothel.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think there's going to be like 4 different teams there. Unfortunately, I cannot remember the other 2 off the top of my head right now. But so we're looking at that. So that's some of the things we have coming up quickly, and then also just down the road. So
We've been there twice.
Yeah, you'll love the brothel. Yeah.
And yeah, we love going to the brothel.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fun time for sure.
And I tell you, Pam, you're going to have a wonderful time in that brothel, especially in the basement. So.
that was probably the slogan for the brothel once upon a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have a good time at the brothel.
That was up, but that was upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, that was upstairs. Our little tidbit: have people do Estes sessions on the brothel side, back by the beds.
Yeah.
Back by the what?
She's got a couple of beds back there.
Yeah.
She's got like a bunk bed and stuff. She's got chairs back there, but sit back there and do Estes sessions.
Yes.
You will hear things that
Yes.
you'll be like, what?
Yes.
It's crazy. It's
Okay.
crazy. It's pretty awesome.
Yes. The fun time.
Yes.
We'll
Yeah,
let
the
you know
fun
what to find.
yeah, the fun times. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on tonight.
Yes. Thank you,
We
guys.
we will circle back in a few months to catch up with you guys, see how your other investigations have gone, the Aurora Brothel and at the Sally House and all of that stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
sounds
again,
good.
Thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it.
Oh,
yeah, thank you guys so
pleasure.
much. Thanks for the evidence that you guys have shared as well.
yeah. Yeah.
That was
Correct.
some pretty cool stuff.
It
Wicked
was.
Ghost Hunters will be here Wednesday night at 7. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Other than that, you guys have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.